Shalom. First, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone from whom I learned this truth. And Shalom to the 144,000 elect. I am Mayakala. And I came across this news story a couple of days ago, and something that I kind of already suspected, but this news story kind of confirmed what I had been suspecting. But I just wanted to say that I want to bring out this story and use this story under the Fair Use Act of 1976, the Copyright Infringement Act, and this is just for edification purposes. So this is under fair use. This is not a monetized channel, so this is not in an effort to make any kind of money or anything. So, but first, before I play this, because it's not very long, I'm going to bring out a verse. I'm going to go to 1 Corinthians chapter 11. And I'm going to start at verse 15. And it says, but if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering. And I'm going to read that in the NLT. It says, and isn't long hair a woman's pride and joy? So that's what it means by when it's saying it's a glory to her, because it is her pride and joy to have long hair. All right, it says it, for it has been given to her as a covering. All right, so that's what a woman's glory is. Or a woman's glory is her hair. All right, I'm gonna go over to 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 9, and it says, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, and not with broided hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array. And let's see what is broided. And this is a Greek word, so it is G4117. And I'll give you a pronunciation of it.
Strong's G4117, plegma.
All right, and under the biblical use, it just says what is woven, plaited, or twisted. It says a web, a plait, a braid. And I'm going to look at the root of this word also. And the root of the word is G4120. I'll give you a pronunciation of it again.
Strong's G4120, pleco.
And it says to plait, braid, or weave together. Under the Strong's definition, says a primary word to twine, or braid, or plait. All right, so I just wanted to be clear on this something. it's all right for a woman to have braided hair, but when you go into all these designs and you go into bringing all this attention to your hair and adorning it with different items on it, all right, that's going overboard. That's just doing a bit much, all right. So it's all right to braid your hair as a woman, but to have to have all these different designs in it and have all these different articles hanging from it, or even to go and you know what? Before I even say that, I'm just gonna go ahead and play this, because women do tend to go overboard when they want to add to their hair. They want to make the braids super long, and they want to have all these little twisty designs in it. So I'm just gonna let this video play.
Emergency.
A new study finds harmful cancer-causing chemicals in certain synthetic braiding hair products. Channel 2's Audrey Washington spoke with some health experts and social justice scholars about why those harmful products, Audrey, are mostly marketed to black women.
Right, the report about cancer-causing chemicals found in synthetic braiding hair is sending shockwaves through the beauty industry. But now, some health professionals believe these products that are targeted to black women and girls specifically are a form of environmental racism.
You can dress it up or down because of the curls.
By now, we've all seen them. The flashy beauty supply ads usually displayed in black neighborhoods that promote braiding hair products. But recently, some of those products were tested, and the results are disturbing.
Not knowing if I may be a candidate of cancer in the future or now, I don't know.
A Consumer Reports study found cancer-causing chemicals in all 10 brands of braiding hair tested. 3 had the chemical benzene.
Benzene is mostly linked to leukemias.
Chemist and Emory University professor of environmental health.
So I just kind of wanted to stress. They said they had 10 different types of the hair, and they found this chemical in all 10 types or brands of this hair. All right. So not only are you putting yourself at risk when you have this in your woven into your hair, but the person that's handling this hair, the one that's sitting in the beauty shop that's applying this and putting in this hair, you're also putting yourself at risk. So even if you yourself don't have the braids in your hair, you're applying it and you're handling it all day. So you're being exposed to the chemicals too. I'll let it continue to play.
Marcet explained how the chemical disrupts the body.
And it's this chemical that can go in and bind to your DNA and lead to mutations. And so it's that what could go on to form a cancer.
We reached out to all 10 companies whose products were tested. Only 2 responded. Both companies stated their products are safe and questioned the testing methods. But Dr. Marcet says benzene doesn't need to be ingested in order to be harmful.
It's near your face, so that's in your breathing zone.
In 2024, I first spoke with Dr. Marcet after the FDA proposed a ban on certain chemical hair straighteners that were found to cause cancer. Those products mostly marketed and used by black women and girls. So I had to ask, is the placement of these products in majority black communities a form of environmental racism?
I think it plays a big part. I mean, it's really...
So make no mistake about it. This has been being done on purpose. Don't be fooled. All right, you see who it's targeting, and you see where it's being placed and what neighborhoods it's being placed in. All right, and they were aware of its toxicity, but they didn't care because they know as soon as you open up one of these shops and you start to sell this hair, they know the so-called black woman is gonna flock in there and she's gonna buy this shit. I'll let it continue to play.
It's really a history of these types of products being marketed to Black women.
It's a pollutant, it's a toxin.
Professor Dr. Tara Taylor with Morehouse College.
I would definitely say that racism is at the core with regards to when any time a particular group is disproportionately impacted.
This is, in my mind, a public health emergency.
Dermatologist Dr. Aaliyah Brown has treated patients who developed serious scalp and hair rashes from synthetic braids. She says the rashes combined with the new cancer risk should sound health alarms nationwide.
Unfortunately, there also are some biases that exist with healthcare and people of color and disparities.
Hairstylist Dion James tells me she developed health issues after decades of braiding and inhaling fumes from synthetic hair.
I have suffered from benign tumors, so now I'm starting to think that maybe it may correlate to the hair. Is this braiding hair poisoning Black women?
Of course it is.
So this is what comes along when you want to adorn yourself and make all these, like I said, when you get outrageous with these things, and you, instead of just braiding your own hair, they women, a so-called Black woman wants to go out and they always want to buy that's real silky hair that comes from the other nations. That's what they call the good hair. All right. So they, in a sense, they don't even like themselves. They don't like their own grade of hair, because to them that's not a good grade of hair. A good grade of hair comes from the other nations. All right. And when they put this hair, have it applied onto woven into their own hair, it come what comes with it comes a whole different attitude. They get to swinging it around and they get to playing with it, and it just changes the whole spirit upon the woman. All right, so make no mistake about it. Like I said, this is not done by mistake. This is done on purpose, because they know once they open up these, and you know what nations come into your neighborhood and set up these shops. A lot of times it's the East Indian woman, and that's the hair that the so-called Black woman wants to buy. All right, the East Indian woman, that Elamite woman, they want to have that hair. That's the hair that they want. That's the good hair. All right, and like I said, when they put that, when the so-called Black woman puts that into her hair, has it woven in there, it puts a different spirit on her. All right, and you're not knowing that and realizing that in a lot of these different cultures, when they cut this hair, it's done with a ritual behind it. There's certain prayers that's said over it before they even put it out to be marketed. All right, to be before they even package it up and send it out to be sold, they have a certain ritual they do. I went into Chat GPT, and I'm just going to read it because it wasn't a whole lot of information, but let's see if I can find it. Salakia. And I asked, well, I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask Chat GPT, what is a tonsure offering? And you know what? I might as well share this. Let me see if I can't put it on this screen. All right, so I asked Chat GPT, what is a tonsure offering? It says a tonsure offering is a religious ritual involving the cutting or shaving of hair to symbolize renunciation of worldly vanity, humility, and dedication to God or a spiritual path. It says common in Christian monasticism, clergy, Orthodox, and historical Catholic, Hinduism, offering hair to a deity, and Buddhism. It marks a new phase of life, such as baptism or taking vows. Under the Christian, it says key aspects of a tonsure offering. Christian/Orthodox tradition usually involves cutting 4 locks of hair in a cross-shaped cruciform pattern at baptism. Tonsure is as a reader or monastic initiation representing an offering of self. And under the Hindu tradition, it says often performed at temples as a gesture of gratitude, humility, to remove ego, often in fulfillment of a vow. It says it serves, under significance, it says it serves as a visual sign of detachment from the world and submission to a higher power. It says under disposal. Well, okay, we're not going to go into that. All right, but I just wanted to show you under different cultures, there's different traditions and different rituals that they go when they pray over this hair after it has been cut. All right, and as they said, they do it as in an effort to detach from the world. But the so-called black woman, when she buys this hair, she's buying it because for the exact opposite reason. It's because she is very much worldly and is very much trying to adorn herself and enhance herself by. I mean, there's nothing wrong with dressing yourself up or making yourself more appealing, but not by doing this, not by adding somebody else's hair into your head, and which has been prayed up over and which has had all kind of rituals performed upon it, because you don't know what you're putting on yourself and you don't know what you're subjecting yourself to. All right, these other nations, they have other gods that they pray to. They have their own gods. They're not praying to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. They're praying to their own gods. All right, so I just have a couple more verses that I wanted to bring out, and that'll be the end of this, because but like I said, the so-called black woman does this and adds this into her hair, and it gives her a certain spirit on it. It makes her act in a certain manner. All right, I'm going to go to Isaiah chapter 3, verse, I'm going to drop down to 16. And you can see the title says Judah's women denounced. It says, verse 16, moreover, the Lord Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk, and when it says Zion, that's just the daughters of Israel. It says, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. I want to see what this word haughty means. All right, it is H1361, and under the biblical usage, it says to be high, be exalted, to be high, lofty, or to be exalted. Let's see. Under the Strong's definition, it says to be lofty, figuratively, to be haughty, exalt, to be haughty, to lift up, to mount up, to be proud. That's what I was trying to get to. Be proud, raise up, great height, be upward. So that's that word haughty goes into pride, being proud, and that's that different spirit that they get on them when they add that hair and to their own hair. They, like I said, they get to swinging it around and they have a whole different attitudes. Like it makes them a whole different woman. And I'm going to read it in verse 16 in the NLT. It says, the Lord Yahweh says, beautiful Zion is haughty, craning her elegant neck, flirting with her eyes, and walking with dainty steps, tinkling her ankle bracelets. All right, these are all the things that they adorn themselves with that goes along with this haughty spirit. I'm going to go back into KJV, verse 17. It says, therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord Yahweh will discover their secret parts. And that's typically what you see, because the so-called black woman suffers from baldness. That's one of the curses that's been put upon her. All right, and as a result of that, that's why she goes forth and seeking to adorn herself with the hair of other nations. That's why she doesn't even like her own self, doesn't like her own hair, because her hair, as she puts it, is not the good grade of hair. The good grade of hair comes from the other nations, in their opinion. Verse 18, it says, in that day, the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their caws, and their round tires like the moon. It says the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings, the rings and the nose jewels. That's something else that they love to put. That they love to put that septic ring right in the middle of their nose, look like a damn bull. It's so unattractive. Verse 22, the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles, and the wimples, and the crisping pins, and the glasses, and the fine linen, and the hoods, and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell there shall be stink, and instead of girdle a rent, and instead of well set hair baldness, and instead of a stomacher a girdle, a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. So with all these things that they use that are so superficial, that they add to enhance their beauty rather than going on what the Lord has given them, they want to add all these things to them, and the Lord's going to take it away. All right, and the Lord, and especially as we get closer and closer to the Jacob's trouble, which we have already entered into, but as you really begin to suffer, and especially as these wars continue, and we'll get deeper in these wars, and a lot of these items that typically get shipped from other countries, are brought here, and you're starting to see already the effects of the war that's going on, that's taking place in Iran and the Strait of Hormuz. A lot of those items, a lot of those ships have been docked. They're not moving, and there's a lot of products on there that are not being shipped the way they in the fashion that they normally would be. Yeah. There's other ports and other areas that items are shipped, but like I said, as we get more deeper involved into Jacob's trouble, a lot of these items are going to come to a halt where they're not going to be shipped. All right, and you're not going to have all these things that give you that haughty spirit. All right, I'm going to go jump over to Ezekiel chapter 16, and this will be the last one, and then that'll be the end of this. Where did I say I was going? Going to Ezekiel chapter 16. And I'm just going to bring out this verse because while this verse that I'm about to bring out is really referring to the whole nation of Israel, men and women, I do want to bring this out because I'm highlighting the woman at this point. All right, so this is why I'm going to bring this verse out. I mean, we're talking about the women right now. We're talking about the women adding this fake hair into their heads. So this is Ezekiel chapter 16 and verse 14. It says, "And thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty." So the beauty of the Israelite woman, that was the standard of the world. The women of the other nations used to look up and look at the women of the nation of Israel, and that was the standard of beauty at one time. All the women of the other nations wanted to look like and wanted to be like the women of the nation of Israel. It says, "For it was perfect through my comeliness," and comeliness being the beauty which I had put upon thee. So the Lord had put a beauty upon the Israelite woman that was like no other, upon the whole nation. But in this instance, I'm referring to the woman. The Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, had put a certain beauty upon the women of Israel that was like no other women that the Lord had created. It says, "I had put upon thee," Salaki, I'll go ahead and start. It says, "For it was perfect through my comeliness, which I had put upon thee, saith the Lord Yahweh, power of Israel." All right. But now the woman, the Israelite woman, has put the standard of beauty and looking upon the other nations as the standard of beauty, because they want to make their hair longer than it really is. They want to make it stringy. All right, they want to press it and they want to color it blonde and make themselves look like the other nations. They want to look like every other nation but their own. They don't enhance what the Lord has given them by beautifying it without adding something that doesn't even belong on their person at all. All right, they want to add to it by adding another nation's hair on it. How sick is that? All right, but I'm going to leave it there. All right, and I pray that this has been edifying to the listener. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Shalom.